Topic 3 this week, Kev. This one's more for you than me. This one is more your alley. So I'm going to defer to you. But we've got multiple Alien Project news here. First one is the TV show that we have talked before about it not making sense that the aliens came to Earth. So, got a comment here that I want to get your thoughts on. This is from FX Entertainment Boss via Variety. Alien Earth abandons plot elements from Ridley Scott's prequels and exists in a parallel to Romulus. The Entertainment Boss says everything doesn't have to fit together the way you expect from Marvel. Fans don't expect that in this universe. You are way more the Alien guy than me. I haven't even seen the newest one, which you did enjoy. I have seen most of them. Kev, do you care about continuity in the Alien universe? Do you want side things like this? This is parallel to Romulus. Romulus was the last movie to come out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, I do. Okay. We'll stick to Alien for the most part, but let me just say first, generally speaking, I applaud this behavior in all cinematic universes. It's totally fine. It's not that hard to explain. And if you go back to even our Kang video segment and other discussions, I am perfectly okay with this. It might get a little confusing for the casual fans if they don't hear news like this, and maybe they did watch Romulus and they're expecting things to all fit and be the same. So I will understand if you disagree with me on this. This will just have to be an agree to disagree situation to any of the folks at home who are like, no, I want this continuity to make sense. It's not that I don't want there to be continuity that makes sense. I do. I'm just perfectly fine with there being other world, elseworld ideas. And in a world full of multiverses, it doesn't bother me at all. And I think it's easy enough to explain. And I'd rather do something like that than have retcons come in and negatively impact projects that I did like, right?
Correct,
not that there are many of them, but what about the fans of like the Alien 3, any of those weird ones that have all been sort of whitewashed
like
and
they
now
don't exist anymore?
Yeah, the Halloween's another one. There's a ton of movies that no longer in canon. Who cares? It's just sort of you can just have them exist parallel to each other. I don't hate this. I think it's the only way you could do it, James. If you're going to have aliens come to Earth,
Well,
based on everything else, right? How else would you do it?
That was our big question, right? When we watched, or I can't remember if we watched a trailer or read something about it, was how the fuck are these aliens on Earth? Like that has never happened in any of the movies or any of the lore or stuff. So I would agree with you. Like, okay, so we can do this and make sense and have fun with it. I wasn't sure if you were like locked in, like, I want my Alien one straight line, but then you brought up Alien 3 and it's like, oh, duh, it isn't already.
Yeah, that Band-Aid's been ripped off for me, especially in the horror franchises I enjoy, because we just mentioned this one, Halloween. If you were fans of any of like the Jason movies or Nightmare on Elm Street, you got Freddy vs. Jason on top of stuff. Like all of these have been messed with before. And maybe to show all of my cards on the table, maybe this blow is lightened for me because I don't love the prequels. I don't love the Prometheus stuff.
I have seen that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, there are elements that I like. I'd rather it exist than not exist, but it messes with the established timeline. It messes with what I enjoyed a little bit, where I'm like, I didn't really need all of this. Sometimes the best parts of horror is keeping the mystery, just letting us have our theories and having fun. Sometimes you over explain it, you do too much, and it ruins the fun a little bit. That's how I feel about some of the prequels. My least favorite part of Romulus is the fact that it gets directly tied into those prequels. So maybe that's another part where I'm like, okay, well, hey, Alien Earth, maybe that's for me. Maybe this will be the canon that I personally enjoy following more. Because that was good, but not great. Maybe this will be great. And I'll just jump ship over here and we'll ride with this alien universe. So, admittedly, I might be a little biased. And how do you feel, James, just generally speaking? Are you in favor of having this? Do you think it would cause too much confusion for an outsider? Like, is it going to make it difficult to bring
I
in new
think
fans?
I think the people that are going to watch this will know this, right? I think they will see these comments and know, and somebody that catches it is probably not, and it doesn't understand it, is not a huge fan of the series anyway. So they're just watching because they just saw it, or they're like, oh, that looks interesting, right? I think the best example I can think of is you were kind of naming off franchises that are doing parallel or have done different stuff, and it's happening right now, is in the James Gunn DCU, whatever he's calling, I don't know what he's calling it exactly. You have his movies, but you also have the Batman movies getting made that are completely separate, tonally different, wouldn't really fit. I think he got asked about it again today, and he's like, no, they're not part of this. So I think when you think like that, especially in universes this big, like, let them have some fun. There's a lot of fun scenarios for the Alien franchise that don't have to fall directly in line. And here is one, like, oh shit, what happens if they end up on Earth? Because they never have. That's always kind of the kick, right? Is it somewhere else, it's a spaceship, it's a different planet, it's never ever Earth. So give them this freedom. Let people play in the sandbox and have fun. Not everything needs to connect.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a good series to fit for it because we also think about Alien versus Predator. Like that has an
Yep.
entirely different canon that really doesn't belong with either. It fits a little bit better with the Predator story than it does with Alien. But yeah, I think this is a cool concept. I'm going to enjoy watching it and we'll see. I'm looking forward to they released like a 4-minute sneak peek that at first I
Yeah.
thought was just going to be like a long trailer or maybe just honestly a kind of a boring scene with a nice cliffhanger in the last 30 seconds. You know
Mm-hmm.
how they do. But
Yep.
it seemed more of like a segment from what I imagine will be weekly releases of their making of behind the scenes stuff
Mm-hmm.
because it seemed pretty well produced on a quick glance. But I'm excited to hear the creators talk about it and talk about that freedom. But yeah, I think this is an incredibly fun idea. It's another concept. My favorite horror franchise, whatever. It's really just one film, and I love the story it's based
Yeah.
on. But The Thing, there's a small comic book run where they introduce the idea of the Thing getting outside of that isolation and what it would be like. And I think xenomorphs are akin to that with their ability
Yeah.
to, through face huggers, just get a lot of, just basically overcome all of humanity pretty quickly. So I think that's a exciting twist in a franchise that has already done just about everything it could do. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if you're going to keep Alien alive, I think this is the way to do it with a TV show on top of
Yeah, it's
a
TV. Yeah.
concept. That's the other part that's kind of gives it a little
That,
bit more
have they ever done a TV
flexibility,
show?
I think, is it's not a movie. I don't recall. I don't believe there's been a TV show before. They've had a really cool
I don't
video
think so.
game
Really cool.
with
Isolation.
yeah, Isolation's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun, and there's actually a bit of like an RPG, like a top-down squad management sort of video game that at one point I have grabbed it on PlayStation Plus, shout out, but have not played it yet. So they have a few video games in the mix, but I don't think they've ever done TV shows before. And I really enjoy the possibilities of. I hope this does really well because I think a lot of other IPs could start to utilize that formula. I think the mistake that Marvel is stating they'll move away from, and the one that James Gunn has recently stated he's going to drag the DCGU into, is what I'm calling it,
I
trademark,
like that. Yeah.
is to make these TV shows required viewing. Like go the opposite route. That's the place to do this other Elseworld stuff. Uh, I'm all for it, and hopefully they don't mess it up because then nobody will try it again if they do.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, If it gets messed up, then it won't happen again. And nah, we don't want that. But Kev, this also leads into my other alien topic for the week is this one. Again, talking parallel stuff that doesn't all need to fit together. And one that I didn't like, in theory, this sounds insane, but I'm like, oh my God, this could be really fucking cool. Marvel Comics has announced Alien vs. Captain America, a 4-issue limited series written by Frank Thierry with art by Stefano Raphael. The book is set in World War II and sees Hydra unleashing the xenomorphs. Comes out this November, and these covers are incredible. It's incredible.
Wow.
You've got the xenomorph in the background, the face hugger on the shield, and then this one too. And of course, my computer's really slow. Captain America. That's a legion of xenomorphs. That's not a xenomorph.
Oh, dude, this is going to be fun.
I'm interested to get your thoughts on this.
I can't wait for this. I think it's the perfect way to do one of these short run crossovers. This is very nostalgic for me personally as a longtime comic book fan, even throughout my days as more of a casual comic consumer. You always kept an eye out for the big crossover events. That's something that I feel was done a lot more in back in the day, but as comics have
not
had
done
a
as
bit of a
much
return.
anymore.
Yeah, and we talked about the Batman Deadpool crossovers. Check that video out.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I think, I like this a lot better than that. This reminds me of, I think Batman at one point did fight Alien. I know he fought Predator, and that was really fun. What a great way to introduce it, to have it be World War II Cap. So you've got that era Cap, and it being a Hydra just project. That's, probably my favorite version of Hydra too, as opposed to the MCU, which, I mean, it was like more computers, and you got these guys were like, a little bit into the occult side of things. So it's the idea that they would find some probably a meteorite that, an alien crashed down, and that Hydra went and found it, and then has been researching this in a lab, and then they unleash it on America, and then you got Cap, and I imagine some cameos fighting against a legion of aliens.
Could get a Wolverine cameo, because if they go with the old school one, like there are some comics where Wolverine is in World War II with Cap. There's some fun fucking possibilities here.
Yeah, dude, this is exactly the way to get somebody like me to pay for multiple comics.
I'm like, I saw this. I'm like, oh, me and Kev are gonna be reading this in the fall. We're gonna be paying attention, reading this, and talking about it, because this, I mean, this is the kind of crazy crossovers. Like, you'll never get this in TV, right? Like, there's no fucking way. However, in the comics, this is, and like you said, it's gotten picked up a little bit more in the last few years. You talk Deadpool, Batman. I know there's been Ninja Turtle ones crossing over into Wild Things recently. I'm fucking here for this. This can be fun. I'm here for this.
Sign me up.
They released perfect pictures too. Like, those are great. The covers are great.
Yeah, they had me with that first one with
this one's so good.
On the shield is so good.
Yeah.
100%. We'll probably be covering this one on a monthly basis as it gets released, and then I'll probably be adding to my collection and buying the full version when it comes out too, because good God.
Yeah, this is cool. This cover is sick. I'm here for it.
I'm all in, dude. A great day for Alien fans. Shout out, gang.
Yeah. Woo! Big week for Alien fans there. That's awesome. That is coming out this November. Is that a once a month release, Kev? Is that how that works? You would know more about this than me.
Yeah,
more about the
generally
comic
speaking,
world than
I
I
mean,
do.
it might be longer, like, maybe it's a quarterly, but generally speaking, it's once a month.
Yeah, I'm here for it. We'll be paying attention to it, Kev. Very exciting. See how Cap survives the old xenomorph horde
Oh, I can't
and doesn't
wait.
turn into a face hugger.
Could you imagine if they do that? If they have
We lost Cap.
not Cap, but what if it's another, I almost said metahuman, didn't watching too much DC, but, what
Yeah.
if it's an X-Man, if it's a mutant or just some other superhero that a face hugger does get in there, and then it's like some souped up
Oh, you got like a
OP.
fucking super xenomorph running around. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
that I don't know if they'll go that far, but I wanna see that.
We'll see what they do. It's interesting. It has the oh yeah, okay, that's let's say 20th century logo on 'em. I forgot that they own that now. That Disney owns 20th century. God, I think they own so much weird shit that you just don't even realize. Yeah,
Thank
but
God
we
for
are
antitrust laws. What?
we are very looking forward to this one.